How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to New Mexico State Men's Basketball News. And Marshall, in today's video, giving talking about a win for the first time in a while. It's been a few weeks. It feels really good to be talking about a win strictly in this video. As you guys know, the past couple of videos I've done, I've been making recaps on 2 games in 1 week. But for once, I actually have time in between the week to get a video out about a game. And thankfully, it's actually talking about a win. Even if we did lose, I would still just make this video now because I have more time. I have a class here in about 40-45 minutes, but it's really, really close by in Milton Hall, where I've made some videos as well. Really happy to talk about this big Aggie win on the road against a really good Louisiana Tech team who was 11-1 at home prior to this game, and the Aggies obviously made them 11-2 at home, beating them 72-63. Led by Jamel Jones, who had 26 points on 10 for 18 shooting, 4 for 4 from the line, 2 for 5 from 3. Julius Mims had another double-double, his 5th of the year. He had 13 points and 12 rebounds, shot efficient. Played really well overall. There's only really one mistake he had. I think it was when Gabe threw him a pass and kind of mishandled it. To be fair, the pass was kind of low, but it's still a pass he could have got. And I had an easy 2 points to, build our lead up a little bit and make it a little bit more comfortable of a game. But at the end of the day, we still got the win, and those guys balled out. So let's talk more about how they got the job done. First off, the Aggies got to a really good start. Just like they did against Kennesaw State, I was a little worried they were going to maintain it, and it was looking at that for a little bit, but obviously eventually they ended up getting back to where they were. They were by 9 early, 14-5, and ended up winning by 9. So their largest lead of the night ended up being how much they won by, which is great to see. A lot of times you'll see the Aggies build up a lead and not be able to sustain it, or they'll get down, build up a little bit of a lead, and then blow it again. We've seen that time after time. It was nice to see that not happen this time. The Aggies went up 14-5, and then La Tech responded with a 15-1 run. And the Aggies responded with another run of their own to make it 31-27 with about 3 minutes to go in the first half. And then La Tech scored 5 straight to end the half, went up 32-31. There was a questionable call there at the end. They were calling, I think it was a tech on juice or something like that, because him and one of the other guys on La Tech were going at it a little bit. But if anything, it should have been a double tech. And honestly, I don't think there should have been a tech at all. I don't think it was that serious. So they got free throw. They got 2 free throws and they only made 1. Then they got the ball back and, of course, scored. This was the first game, I believe, this season where we actually won trailing at the half. But it would have been nice because this would have been our first time winning at half for a while. But, of course, the rest had to ruin it somehow. But luckily, it didn't affect anything because we still got the win. The second half started pretty similar to the first half. The Aggies went on a quick 13-5 run in the first 8 minutes, or 7 minutes about. At the 12:59 mark, they were up 44-37. And then La Tech came back, I believe it was 45-44 at one point. I don't think they regained the lead at any point. If they did, it was really, really close. It wasn't that much. I can't remember if it was tied at one point, but it was neck and neck. It was about a 2 to 4 point game for a while, and the Aggies finally built up like a 3-possession lead and got to 4 possessions. Kept going from there. Gabe Pickens played very well as a starter, his 14th start of the year. He's started a few games in a row now. He had 8 points, one of his better games as of recent. I believe he was 0 for 3 from 3, 2 for 6 from the field, 4 for 4 from the line. So really good for him to be hitting those free throws. And his threes have been looking really good. They just haven't been falling. Speaking of threes, Jacoby Osborne hit his first 3 of the season, second of his career. He had one last year. Kind of made a joke with my roommate when we were watching the game. I was saying, hey, now that Jacoby hit a 3, got to win. Jacoby does a lot of great things on the defensive end, finishes at the rim really well. He had like one finish yesterday that didn't go in, or a couple, but overall was able to finish around the rim with ease, had a nice dunk. But he's not much of a shooter from the outside, especially, and he hit a corner 3. Yeah, he was wide open, but he's had a lot of wide open looks this year. I remember against Highlands, he had a couple wide open looks, but was playing through an injury. I think it was a hamstring injury or something early in the year that Coach Hooten was a little upset about, but he did some of those shots, and I think Hooten was a little upset with him for missing those shots, but he was also playing kind of hurt. I would love to see Kobe just continue to improve that 3-point shooting. I think that will add a lot to his arsenal and help him develop even more as a player. And I was also talking to my roommate last night, too. I could really see Jacoby developing into a double-double type guy, kind of like we see from Juice. Obviously, they're different positions, but I could see, Jacoby averaging a double-double at the 3, small forward, whatever you want to call it. Overall, he's just improved so much. He does a lot of really, really good things. We have a lot of inconsistencies in our team. Jamel Jones had a really good game, had 26 points, but only had a combined 17 points the last 2 games. Elijah Elliott had a pretty nice game. He had 8 points, had some costly turnovers, but still, was able to hit some clutch shots and do some big things. But he only had 7 points in the 2 games prior total, then had 26 the game, before. So it'd be nice if those guys can be a little more consistent, especially our top guys. But I really think that Jacoby and Juice have been our most consistent players. Jamel's obviously been our best. Jacoby's been our most improved. Was really happy with how Gabe played last night. He's got a couple of DMPs here and there, or I can't remember if it was only 1 or 2, but he just wasn't playing a whole lot. It was kind of, toward the end of the rotation. Now him, Chris, and Elliott are all getting pretty solid minutes at the point guard position whenever they need them. So I kind of like that. I know early in conference play we'd only see about 2 of them, whether that was just Elliott and Gabe or Elliott and Terrell. When I was seeing all 3 of them, Elijah's obviously a really, really talented scorer, so he's going to be in there regardless. Gabe did really good as a starter. I think the starting lineup worked for this game, so we'll see if Coach Hooten continues to go with that. The only real player that I think kind of had a struggle was Anthony. He only had 1 point off a free throw, and he also missed one, and he's arguably our best free throw shooter. Him and Jamel are definitely up there for that. 0 for 3 from the field, 0 for 3 from 3. Augustine Ekway got about 9 minutes, and even though he didn't score, he grabbed 3 rebounds, had some blocked shots, did a lot of good things overall. Had a couple fouls, but I don't think they were really on him. Sierra Malonga did not see the floor for the second time this season, so maybe we'll see him more as the year goes on. Because even though Augustine's a freshman and Sierra's a junior, you might think like, oh, Sierra's a junior, he's had a little bit better of a season. Augustine's getting true minutes as a freshman, and this is the first time Sears really getting true minutes. So it's both their first year getting true minutes, regardless of the class they're in. But hopefully they can continue to improve and develop and be good for us for next year as well. I'm hoping they stay along with Jacoby and Gabe and anybody else who has years of eligibility. We have a lot of seniors on the team, but that doesn't always mean they're gone. Look at last year, we had Zadie Jackson and Jaden Harris, who are both seniors, but now they're coming back for another year or two possibly. We'll see that all plays out, obviously. The defense was definitely improved as well. We held Louisiana Tech to only score 63 points, and we were to score over 70. We didn't score as much as we usually do, but we're still able to get a big win. And honestly, I don't think this was even our greatest performance either, and we still got a big win on the road. That just goes to show you that if we're playing our best brand of basketball, we can beat anybody. We have a big game against UTEP here in a few days. I was thinking about maybe trying to go to that game. I don't think I'll be helping out, work it or anything like what I do with the home game sometimes. That's why I'm also wearing this too. I'm helping out with the women's game tonight. Getting this win against Louisiana Tech will do a lot for the Aggies going to that UTEP game. Right now we're 10th in Conference USA, so if the season were to end today, we would barely get in as that last seed for the conference tournament. Ideally, it'd be nice if we could get to that top 6 range, because I think we would avoid a play-in at that point. If we get 7 to 10, we'll have to kind of do the play-in, kind of like what it is in the NBA. But I'm not sure how it is this year with more teams and how it's all going to be adjusted. I know it's still in Huntsville, Alabama, which a lot of people don't like because you got to do a lot of traveling. It was a lot easier when the Aggies were in the WAC and go to Vegas, and it was a lot more fun. But regardless, if the Aggies can get hot at the right time and win some games there, anything can happen. Liberty is still undefeated, still a team to beat. That's who we play in our next home game, and we almost beat them on the road, so maybe they have a chance to beat them at home. But they haven't been playing as great at home recently. They've been playing a little bit better on the road, surprisingly. But we have to find a balance, both places. Delaware also played really, really well against Liberty last night. I believe they only lost by 6 points. That just goes to show you, again, anybody can beat anybody in this conference. Yeah, Delaware was the home team, and I know it sucks that we lost to them, but the fact that Liberty only beat them by 6, they also beat Kennesaw State early in the year by 15, I think, and I know they lost to UTEP by about 15, but it was relatively close to those last couple of minutes. UTEP kind of just ran away with it. So they might be a lot better than what the record shows, and maybe makes the loss against them a little bit better for us, I guess, and the win against them by 30 maybe look a little better, but they're last. UTEP's 11th, we're 10th. We're definitely a lot better than that. Even the commentators were saying, watching the game, they could tell why the Aggies were picked to finish 3rd in conference. Now they just got to continue to show that and improve. Overall, the Aggies just shot the ball really well as well. They hit some of the clutch shots. Jamel hit a clutch 3, which we missed a lot of those shots. Played great on defense, like I was saying earlier, had 9 steals. The best they've had against a Division I team this year, especially in conference play. That's always huge to have against a good team like Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech, they're 12-10 now, 5-6 in conference, so it might not sound the greatest, but with how good they are at home, really good win for us. Kind of reminds me of coaching his first year where we were really good at home, even though our record wasn't the greatest overall. Really, really good at home. The Aggies did have 14 steals against University of Southwest, who they beat 104-33. NAIA program, a team that they were supposed to beat. I went to the press conference on Monday, and Coach Hooten was talking about, obviously up to that point we were 8-3, 1-0 in conference. And after that, doesn't really know what happened with the team. Kind of just went south for a little bit there. Really hoping that this win can help the Aggies continue to improve, and if they can just stay healthy and get hot at the right time, continue to win some of these games. They have 8 games left. If they can win at least 5 or 6 of these, that'll put them in a decent spot. That'll give them a winning record, which would be huge. Right now, they're still 11-11. Obviously, the conference record isn't where they want it to be. But again, if they can just finish with a winning record overall and that's close to 500 or maybe even slightly above, if possible, in conference, that'll put them right in that 5 or 6 range possibly, and put them in a good spot for the tournament. Obviously, we want to be the highest we can, but pretty much nearly impossible to be in the top 1, 2, maybe even 3. But again, if we can get to that 4 to 6 range possibly, that'd be awesome. It's gonna be really hard to do. I wouldn't be surprised if we stick in that 7 to 10 range. But even if they do, I think they can play well as a play-in team, as a team that was picked to finish a lot higher. Kind of reminds me of Liberty, Coach Hooten's first year here with the Aggies. How Liberty was picked to finish first, I believe, and they were only 7-9 in conference time with the Aggies. I can't remember how they did in the tournament that year. I believe they advanced around, but then got out. I could be wrong. But again, all that matters is that tournament. Even if our record's not where we want it to be, like maybe like what it was last year, if we can win a game or 2 in the tournament, which is something we haven't been able to do the past couple of years, haven't been able to win a tournament game like that since Chris Jans, that'd be huge. The Aggies play UTEP at 7 p.m. this Saturday. Should be a fun game. You can watch it on ESPN Plus, or if you're going to the game in person, that's even better, obviously. Not sure what the tickets are looking like, how much they cost, but I would assume it's not, like too low. I'm sure it's going to be relatively expensive because it's a rival game, but I could be totally wrong because, again, I know to go to all these games as a student and stuff, but the only road game I've gone to for the Aggies was, football this season. We played against UTEP, and I was there as working media, so obviously didn't have to pay, which was huge. So if you're going to the game, make sure, cheer loud. If you're watching the game on TV, also cheer loud. It'd be nice to get this win, because if we do, that means we'll at least, split with UTEP worst case scenario, and it'll be our 4th year doing that, and keep the trend going and beating UTEP at least once each year. And then it would give us a chance to, have a chance at sweeping them as well, for our rivals, sweeping UTEP and, UNM. We only played them one time. UNM did lose to Utah State last night at home, I believe. 86-66, and that was their first home loss since the Aggies beat them. So it looks just like Aggie teams can beat them there, whether it's us or Utah State. Thought that was pretty funny. That's going to close it out for the video today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'm out.